this is why, like I'm saying, like it made me angry. And this is the thing, the so-called white woman has to pay too. The little Edomite woman, she gets off like, oh, she's so sweet and she'd never do anything. But no, they're just as fucking wicked as the Edomite man, right? Now,
they may even be more wicked because they may be able to go under the radar. That's
what I'm saying.
That's what you don't. Yeah, go on, man.
No, you say go on.
That's what makes me that's what gets up. It's like a bully in the class, right? They're picking on you. You're reacting to it, and then you look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
The person that's always doing it is the more wicked.
Exactly.
But they make you look like the wicked for reacting. That's fucked up, man. Go on,
That's right. But what Esau's done is like the Edomite woman, she can hide behind that sweet little butter wouldn't melt in the mouth. They don't do no wrong. They're always the fair, you know, they're the fairest sex, this kind of shit. But it's all bullshit because they're just as wicked, man. I've got a book at home called Without Sanctuary. And when I'm teaching with the elder brother...
Oh, that's a good book, that.
Yeah, it's got the images of where they used to hang Jake. And I bought that book. And when I was looking at the pictures there, because they used to send postcards of the lynchings and stuff, the thing that got me the most, right, is that we knew the Edomite men was standing up there, like, you know, bigging up their chests, right? But the thing that got me is in a lot of them pictures, there's little Edomite girls sitting there, like, you know, with their grinning teeth, all happy because Jake has just been fucking lynched. So a lot of them Edomite women have a lot to pay for. So when they're trying to come around now and trying to talk shit about, like, again, when I was teaching with the elder brother the other day, some fucking Edomite woman come up, she's like, oh, you need to forget about that. That was like over 100 years ago, right? Because we had the picture of Jake's being lynched. And she's like, no, you shouldn't have that. Well, hang on a minute. Isn't it so-called Black History Month? So-called, right? So if we're talking about our history, in our so-called month that you've so-called given us to, you know, so-called celebrate Black history, why the hell shouldn't we have that picture there? It's because they feel fucking uncomfortable, man. Because this truth is coming out to bite them on the arse. And that's the thing, we were just talking briefly. You said something, and I said, but Esau will never do that. Esau's never going to come straight. Because ultimately, Esau is a fucking coward, right?
Yep.
That's why Esau has to rely on his guns, his military, his technology, his lies. Esau can't come straight. Now, what I was talking about, like with that flipping woman who tried to get me to come over and take a shot, right? As I said to the brother, I felt like I wanted to Hulk out, man, and just tear the whole thing down, kick her off a fucking chair and put my foot on her neck, right? And this is the thing, that's the type of spirit I've got. That would have been
righteous as well. But
yeah, but that's the spirit I've got, man, because I'm just being honest, right? I'm not going to say, oh, I'm the best fighter in the world or whatever, but I actually enjoy a good fight, right? And that's what I'm saying. You can't be a man in this society because as a man, you see something wrong, a man wants to solve the problem, man. It's women who see things wrong and they're like, oh, it doesn't concern me, it's something else. That's effeminate, man. A man wants to resolve problems, and that's why we want this kingdom to come. Like I said, having a crown's a beautiful thing, but that's only the start. What we really want is power to be able to execute judgment on the earth to correct the wrongs that we see going on. That's why it's very vexing to be a man in this society. You see all this shit going on, and it's like your hands are tied. You can't do nothing about it. But that's for the moment. That's because the Most High wants us to turn to Him first, right? Because if we had the power to deliver ourselves from all of these situations, why would we need a relationship with the Most High? So really, we've got to get back in order, because the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing, let all things be done decently and in order. So the order is this, right? Wait ye upon me to the day that I rise up to the prey. Roughly paraphrasing. So what it is, respect has to be brought back first to Yahawah, right? The respect has to be put back on His name, because we've made a shame of His name through the way we've lived our lives and conducted ourselves throughout our previous incarnations. We've brought shame onto the Most High's name. Just like if you've got a woman, right? Let's say you're married to a woman and she's the flyest thing, you know, she's the best looking thing under the sun, right? And everybody's like, oh yeah, you've got a really good looking wife. And then you're there one day and some guy named Fred from down the road comes and says, oh, I saw your wife the other day. And you're like, oh yeah, when did you see her? Oh, she was talking to Steve. And you're like, who's Steve? Oh, you know, he's the guy who lives down the road. And like, okay, well, I saw her. He saw her. You think nothing of it, right? Then some guy named Bill comes in. Oh yeah, I saw your wife the other day. And he's like, yeah, where'd you see her? Oh, she was talking to Jim. So then you're thinking, hang on a minute, why is your woman talking to these other men, right? Then, you know, you put two and two together. Turns out she's been stepping out on your ass. How is that going to make you feel? What's that going to do to your reputation? Because reputation is very important. So basically, if your woman supposedly is taking your name, supposed to be your woman, and she's stepping out and creeping with other men, she's bringing shame unto you and your name, right? So, we did that to the Most High because we're supposed to be joined unto Him, right? So we've brought shame to the Most High's name. So you know what the Most High did? He said, look, you know what? I'm going to put the curses on you until you come to your senses, and then you're going to seek after me because you're going to, as the saying goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone, right? So let me read Deuteronomy 28, right? From verse 1, it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahawah thy power, to observe and to do all His commandments, which I have commanded thee this day, that Yahawah thy power will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. So, if we were to keep the commandments, we'd be set on high above all, not just Elam, not just Ammon, but all the nations, right? And that's why all the nations hate us, because they don't want to see us get our shine. They're trying to prevent us from ever coming up. And how do they do that? By taking crafty counsel against us, trying to take the name of Israel out of remembrance and give us no hope, right? Now this is why I hate this place so much, because when you understand what's really going on, they wanted you to be so broken spirited, so broken hearted, so downtrodden that you never have any hope ever again, so that your life would just be a perpetual your life would be a perpetual desolation where you've got no hope. Your only purpose is to flipping work for Master Esau. And that's why I fucking hate this place so much. And that's why I want to see this place go down so much, because you understand how wicked these people are. They never wanted you to have anything.
Yep.
In fact, they're trying to get you off the earth, as I read back in Exodus. They're trying to get, they tried to kill off all the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still doing that to this day. There's nothing new under the sun. Right? So, it says, oh, hang on a minute. Let me just jump to Psalms 83 quickly, because I've been holding it, but I don't think I read it. I can't remember. Right, Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So how do they show hatred to the Most High? By showing hatred to His people, right? We are supposed to be Zion, Mount Zion, the monument to the Most High. The Most High is not going to get off His throne and come down here and show Himself to the people. No, He's on His throne. He sent Yahawashi, and He sends the prophets. We're the mouthpiece of the Most High. So the words we speak are not our own. We're speaking the words of the Most High, right? So we're supposed to be the representatives of Yahawah on the earth. We're supposed to be representing Him, which is why I said if we're representing Him the wrong way, that's not a light thing, because we're bringing shame unto the Most High. So Lucky, you got something?
No, you can carry on.
Right, yeah. So it says, for lo, thine enemies that hate thee, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Right? They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, that's their game plan, man. That's why fucking Biden is trying to get this thing popping, man. And you know what, man? As much as I hate that damn devil, I'm glad he's fucking moving this agenda, because we want to get out of this place, man. And guess what? The sooner you try and move with your flipping MOTB, is the sooner we get the hell up out of here, man. So I say bring it on, man. Bring it on. This isn't the time to be flipping scared of Esau, because Esau can't really do shit, man. What's he going to do? Kill your body? Well, guess what? If he kills your body, you're going to be in the spiritual realm of the Most High. Ain't that, death would be a release next to this travesty, man. What do you want to do? Live in hell under this devil forever? So I'm saying death would be a release. So therefore, we've got nothing to lose. Go ahead.
I've got one for you. This is Isaiah 59 and 19 says, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh thy power from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him.
That's right.
And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord, saith Yahweh.
That's right. Beautiful precept, man. Because that brings up a good point. The reason why the destruction hasn't come yet is because we're in the grace period. For example, the Most High brought this truth back to the earth. He's brought this knowledge of the scriptures back to the earth, so that the elect can hear it and they can be, they can repent. They can be reconciled with the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham, and they can escape the judgment which is to come. Now, the judgment isn't slack. The judgment isn't tarrying. It's all basically based upon, okay, the elect's sealed. Once the elect's sealed, boom, that's when the judgment's going to come. So, the fact that we're seeing more and more prophecies coming to pass and things playing out exactly as the word of the Most High said they would play out, we know that the end is very, very near. I mean, sometimes I kind of forget what day and what time it is, or even what year we're in, but we're coming close to 2022. And Lord willing, this place doesn't go through to 2023. That's what I say. Lord willing, this place gets destroyed by then. But no man knoweth the day nor the hour, but yet we have hope because we know the signs. And why do we have hope? We have hope because we have these words. Again, this is what they tried to take away from us.
I just looked up, in the scripture that I just looked at, right, when they come in like a flood, the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. And the movie that keeps coming to mind is Venom, right? Every time I see it, there's Venom 1, now there's Venom 2, right? So
Don't you think it's interesting that they're bringing this film out now when they've got the graphene oxide and everything else with the serpent's juice?
Right, so there's going to be, I ain't seen it, I'm going to see it, I'm looking forward to seeing it, when I get around to it, but the title of it is Let There Be Carnage.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, okay, you got the left-hand side of that, right? And you brothers who know what I'm into like some of these sci-fi movies and all that. Yeah. But you got the right-hand side of it. They're going to come in like a flood. Let there be carnage.
That's what they're saying. It's actually a coded message. That's why they're not just pulling out this film because they want to pull it out now. It's actually a coded message saying, look, this is what's going to happen. That's you're aware of this. When you watch these films and you watch it spiritually, you can see, hang on a minute, this is what they're trying to tell you. This is what's coming next. So, yeah, you're right.
So, yes, to say this, right, there's going to be carnage, right? Isaiah 59 and 19, when they come in like a flood. Now, I'm always looking at that man Venom, and I'm thinking, boy, that man there ain't no... When the Most High rise up the elect men with power, right, they're asking for... Be careful what you ask for, Esau.
Yeah.
You understand? Because, yeah, all right, you're going to bring it, but the Most High going to bring carnage too.
That's right.
Right? You started it, we finished. Back to you, man.
That's a very beautiful thing you said. You started it, we finished. Because this whole thing goes back to Jacob and Esau, man. Which goes back to Cain and Abel. Who started it? Esau, Cain offered the whack-ass sacrifice. Man trying to put potatoes and beetroot on the altar as if the Most High is dealing with that. The man got rebuked, right? And instead of holding the rebuke and saying, look man, I went off, let me fix up. What does he do? Murders his brother Abel. Then when the Most High asks him, look man, where is your brother? He says, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? Right? So then the Most High curses Cain. It gives him the plague of leprosy. Cain lives his life, whatever. In his reincarnation, he come back as Esau. And that same enmity was still between them. And who started it? Esau started it, man. But guess what? Jake's going to finish it. Because Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning that followeth. So lucky, my mind's running on a couple different... there's like 3 storylines going on in my head at the moment of avenues I can take in breaking this thing down. Because I was talking about the woman trying to give them shots. And I'm also talking about the curses we're under.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I was also going to talk about what's happening now.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking of which is the best way to navigate this thing. Let me stick with the... I was talking about Psalms 83 as well. Let me finish Psalms 83, right? So, it says, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that in the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Jebal and Ammon and Amalek, and the Philistines and with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Right? So all these nations have had a part in our downfall, man. And they've all profited in some way, shape or form in our downfall. But here's the ironic thing. Right? Now we've woken up to who we are. Now we're out proclaiming who we are. Guess what? Every fucking nation want to come up and have a part in it. Well, guess what? You didn't want to have a part in it when we were catching hell. So why do you want to have a part in it when we were about to be redeemed? You fucking devils, man. You fucking pieces of shit. Right? You kept Jacob under your foot for the longest. And while we had no hope, nobody gave a shit. But guess what? Now we're rising up, right? And we're proclaiming that we're the Israelites. Oh, but now everybody can be saved. No. You didn't go through the hell with us. You didn't go out of your way to see how we were doing back then. But now all of a sudden you want to be down with the team. It don't work like that. The Most High don't deal like that. Because the Most High made a covenant with the Israelites. He didn't make a covenant with Moab. He didn't make a covenant with the Edomites. He didn't make a covenant with the Philistines, right? He's only dealing with the house of Israel, right? What does it say about the vessel from a bucket? Let me get that. All the other nations are counted as spittle and as the small dust of the balance. Let me get that. Right? Right? This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 6 and 54. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. That sentence in itself says a lot, right? It says we all come from Adam, and also the people whom thou hast chosen. That means the Most High has chosen a particular set of people. Who is that particular set of people? That's the Israelites. And that's the knowledge that they've tried to hide from the earth. Like, you know, if you go back into our so-called history, they try and tell you that, oh, we just came from slave ships. They never go back any further than that. Because they're trying to deny us of our heritage. Because if you know where you come from, if you knew that you came from a line of the greatest people that ever walked the earth, it's going to be very hard for them to tell you that you're nothing and have you believe it.
Well,
so
yeah.
therefore, in order to have you believe that you're nothing, they've hidden your history from you. And they've lied about it. Right? To the point where everybody's now is bugged out, confused, walking around thinking they're so-called black or so-called African or so-called West Indian, you know? All these fucking bywords. So, it says, 6 and 54, right? And all this, 55, Slakia. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said, right? And they say, oh, but you're talking hate speech. You're talking hate speech. Well, guess what? The Most High is saying this. If you've got a problem, take it up with the Most High. Maybe he'll listen to you. But guess what? I don't think he will, right? As for the other people which come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. So all these other fucking people trying to exalt themselves, trying to say that, oh, you know, they're the greatest people and making their statues and, you know, all the iconoclasm bullshit, right? It's all a fucking lie. And it's being found out that it's a lie, man. All the so-called great people, they try and teach you about, like, you know, the great Christopher Columbus, you know, the great Winston Churchill. All these people are fucking devils, man. They're all devils, and that's why you got people on flipping these talk shows. I don't watch TV, but you know, sometimes I see these clips, like when people are coming out and they're telling the truth about what people like Winston Churchill actually did. Some of these Edomites are getting cut in the spirit, man. Like that guy fucking, what's his name? Piers Morgan. Getting all cut in the spirit, because guess what? We're pulling down your lies. All the shit you tried to say, like, oh, you know, Columbus just got on a boat and he thought he'd sail off the edge of the world, but he discovered America. No, you didn't fucking discover America, you lying devils, man. What does 2 Ezra 13 verse 40 say? It says that the northern kingdom, the northern tribes, left the land of, let me get it. 2 Ezra 13 verse 40, just quickly, not to jump around too much, right, but 2 Ezra 13 verse 40. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That further country was the Americas. So it says that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, for the Most High showed them signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there until a latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. So that land which was called Arsareth, which means, I believe, another land, is the Americas. And the northern tribes went over there way before Christopher Columbus. So when they're in their school systems trying to teach you fucking oh, Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, that's fucking bullshit, man. That's straight up bullshit. How can you discover a land when there's already people dwelling there? That's fucking ridiculous. It's like going into a house, right, where someone's already living, and you run up in the house, right, and you're going to sit down on the sofa and you're like, yeah, this is my house now. And the people who live there are like, no, man, we live here. Who the fuck are you? And then you pull out a knife and say, look, man, get all the people in the kitchen, like, and shut the door. There's six rooms in this house. I'm gonna have all five rooms in this house. And if they dare try and come out of the kitchen, I'm gonna throw their asses in prison or I'm gonna kill them. That's what the Americas is like now, because you've got them all up in the fucking the USA, and they've got their border, and they're like, oh, if any of these flipping Hispanics try and cross the border, we're going to flipping separate them from their families and put them in prison and all kind of fucking madness, man, in their own damn country. These fucking devils have got some nerve, man. Now, Salakia, I'm just flowing for the Spirit, and I'm just flowing for the Spirit. Lord willing, hopefully it's coherent, because I'm talking about a couple of different things, but going back to the fucking, the so-called white woman, and how she ain't innocent, man. She's the fucking Shedamite. She's not innocent at all, because as I said, when I was out teaching with the elder brother on Thursday, we had the sign up of, from the book Without Sanctuary, of these Jakes being lynched, and all these Edomites standing around with their grinning teeth, like they've accomplished something, right? And this Edomite woman comes up and says, you shouldn't have that, you shouldn't have that, that's in the past, that's in the past. Well, guess what? Can't we say, look, that fucking, the so-called fake Holocaust, ain't that in the past? But yet we're supposed to remember that, right? Every year you're teaching that in your school systems, right? But yet when we talk about the real Holocaust, which is what happened to the Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. And she's like, nah, that's hate speech. That's hate speech. Well, isn't it hateful to deny people the ability to talk about their history? That's the real hate, man. The real hate is the fact that you devils hate the truth. Now the truth is coming out, and the word of the Lord is sharper than any two-edged sword, so it's slicing you devils, man, and it's cutting you up. Bring it out, Baba Kishore.
Yeah, this is what you were saying about what happened with the Native American Indians. Yes, Psalm 55 and the Edomite woman. And 20 says, and he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. With him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were drawn swords.
That's right. So again, this Edomite woman talking her shit. And I actually said, look, man, she said something like, we said, but why is it so wrong for us to show this picture? Why is it wrong for us to talk to our people about what your people have done? And she's like, no, but that was in the past. That was in the past. Well, guess what? The Most High requireth that which is past. Just because the scriptures say, because, let me get it rather than paraphrase it. This is in Ecclesiastes 8 and... Right, Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11, because sentence against an evil work is not carried... let me read it again. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. It's like here. So just because sentence against an evil work hasn't been executed speedily, therefore their heart is fully set in them to do evil. So just because Esau done all that murdering shit and got away with it, their heart is fully set on doing that. They haven't been punished yet. But guess what? The Most High has a judgment prepared for them. Go on.
No, because when we used to go to Brixton, right, when we was with them other guys, you know, the other guys, right? They weren't in order anyway, but so often Edomite women used to come up and all kinds of people. And this Edomite woman, she was saying same thing, right? Brixton is always busy. This is hate speech and I like black men, and some white girls were saying, I got a black boyfriend, and she called her black boyfriend and all that, right? She wanted him to do something, but he didn't. He just come up, you know, little simp and that. But, so now the point is, right, this woman she was looking for trouble. She was looking.
Okay, no problem.
And then she said that he wants to take it and throw it.
Yeah.
I ain't got no gloves, man. I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
So now she went.
Okay, no problem.
She was saying that my someone's sick and that, and this guy now, this other guy, I'm not going to mention no names, come and said he's sick. I hope he and we was trying to say to him, don't engage.
Yeah.
And he said something. He was holding it, and then he had to come out and say, I hope he dies.
And then he triggered her, right?
Right. And then she said, oh yeah, all right then. And she walked away. You know what happened? Nino. That's what they fucking do. And we ended up we spent a night in thing for that.
Yeah.
But it was really because someone should have shut their mouth. But that's the kind of thing. That's what they're looking for you to do. Take the bait. They lower you with the bait, and then you say something wrong. Then that's what they do. That's the Edomite woman for you.
That's exactly you hit the nail right on the head. But I just want to address something quickly, because what you said about the brother who made the comment that caused you guys to get hemmed up, right? Yeah,
he responded. He shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have, because the scriptures say, let everything be done decently and in order. And I'll say this, right, when you're at the camp, if you're teaching, if you're reading, or if you're just standing on the side listening, always stay in order, man.
Yeah.
And trust that the Most High is working. Don't think that you need to come in and I need to jump in and I need to don't have that spirit, man.
Yeah.
Just lay back, play your part, and things will run a lot more smoothly that way. Because that was a carnal thing, man.
Yeah.
That comment the guy made, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like sometimes there's a risk and reward thing. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we are still in this man's society, so therefore, he's got the power, and the Edomite woman, she's like the held on the highest pedestal. Like if you walk into an art gallery, right, like the National Gallery in London or wherever you go, you're gonna see all these paintings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of iconoclasm images of the Lord, as Cesare Borgia, all that bullshit. But what's the next thing you're gonna see in there? You're gonna see the naked Edomite woman in there, and all these paintings. The naked Edomite woman is put on this pedestal and revered in this society. it's all up in there, because I used to be into art and stuff like that. It's all, that's how this society is kind of, how do you say? That's the fabric of this society.
Yeah.
Like, even if you go into the courts as well, what's the symbol of justice in this society? They've got the Edomite woman with a sword in one hand and scales in the other hand and a blindfold on. That's their symbol of justice.
Yep.
You know, this is a very sort of
Madam Justice.
what do they call this?
Matriarchy.
Yeah, matriarchal society. I mean, even to the point where they're singing, standing up there singing "God Save the Queen," man. I mean, you know, that kind of shows where we're at, right?
Yeah.
So don't think that you're going to be in this man's society and you're going to be able to come up against the so-called white woman, because a lot of Jake probably got killed for that. I mean, look at Emmett Till.
Yeah. There's another one that comes to mind. The movie King Kong. When I was younger, King Kong.
Yeah, I remember King Kong.
There's about three. There's different, all kind of the old and
The
the
original one.
Right, but when I was younger, I was watching it. I got that. I got it straight away.
King Kong's the so-called black man.
I was in a children's home, right? But I was around white people, right? And that was a degrading
image.
That was to degrade black women, because there's a lot of things you can pick out of there and to elevate the white woman. But at the end of it, the new one with I don't remember the guy's name, but when King Kong fell off the Empire State Building, the Edomite, because he was saving the Edomite woman, the King Kong spirit, you know, save the Edomite woman. Even black people got that. You save the Edomite woman, she can't do no wrong, you know. Save her. So he put her up in the thing, and then he ended up getting shot down off the thing. He died for her, right? But at the end of it, the guy stood on King Kong's chest and said, "It took beauty to kill the beast."
Yeah.
Who was really beauty and who was really beast? I've always got the understanding of that. Beauty was the black man. You understand? The story of it's a very classic movie. There was a series on it, and the beast was the Edomite woman, but they switched that shit. The beast was the Edomite woman that got all the people killed.
Yeah.
And we was the people, the saintly people. Fucking wicked.
Yeah, that's a very good interpretation and breakdown of that film, because it definitely was a coded message, like most of these films are. It's good that you got the understanding of that. What was I saying before? It's like I lost my train.
Yeah, so in the art gallery.
Yeah, they uplift the Edomite women. Yeah. So back to the street situation. So she was like, "No, that's hate speech. That's hate speech." And we're like, "What are we saying that's wrong? We're reading that in the Bible." And she's like, "Oh, but that's bullshit." And when she said that, that's what triggers me. But I just brought out Proverbs 13 verse 13, which says, "Who sows..." Let me get it. Proverbs 13 verse 13. Because these people don't think they think it a light thing to speak of the Bible as so-called bullshit, but that's a heavy thing. But it shows these Edomites have no respect for anything of the Most High, right?
Yeah.
Proverbs 13 verse 13 says, "Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded." So we as Israelites, and of the hopeful elect, we fear the Most High's commandments. But these Edomites, they think nothing to talk badly about the Most High, about his people and about his word. So that woman, she's marked for death now. But what she did is, rather than go about her way, what did she do? "I'm calling the police."
Did she say that?
Yeah. And she said it so we could see it, because she tried to put fear in us. Because when they say, "I'm calling the police," they want you to see her doing it. So that you show scared.
Karen, she done the Karen thing.
Yeah. She wants to see you scared. Like, "Oh no, the police are coming, let's pack up and go." And that's what she want to see.
And that's attempted murder as well, according to their history, when they say that.
Just like the woman who tried to get me to take the clock shot.
Attempted fucking murder.
Yeah, that shows her spirit.
Yeah.
Because the spirits are subject unto